G'day, this is the Dr. Friday Show, and don't mess with the IRS, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. I have a wonderful team of experts sitting here with me, building their own houses, and you're like, why in the heck are all these people building houses? Because really, what's that have to do with taxes? These are real estate experts, and so we're going to talk today about what you need to do to protect your number one asset, and that is your house. Right? I mean, most people's savings are less than $500 according to statistics. You don't have a lot in your 401k, but what most people still try to hold on to is their home. All right, so today we've got the crew putting together their homes. And while we're doing that, first thing we want to talk about is actually the black plate, because people are thinking, what in the heck? Why? Because this is the foundation. The one thing that we want to talk about is actually audit proofing yourself. Right? So when you're dealing with the IRS, we all put together this paperwork all the time, but why do we do it really? I mean, we do it to prepare taxes, but the other side of that is to truly protect yourself, so when the government may come back and ask questions, you have the documentation to justify what you're doing. That is impressive. I mean, really, you have done a very good job. I mean, it's going to be a little messy when we get to the end of the show, but you did a good job. All right, so when we're audit proofing yourself, some of the biggest things. Number one reason the IRS says they audit you is because mathematical errors on your tax return. Or when they come and review your paperwork, let's say you've added up the numbers, because a lot of you guys might have other accountants or you're using us or whatever, but a lot of times you come to us and you give us a list of information and say, this is how much I did for telephone, this is how much I did in miles, this is how much, and you give total numbers to your accountants. Right. Well, the problem is if you mathematically make a mistake and we go into an audit and we're justifying those numbers, then you're in trouble, right? Because then as I go in to represent you, if those numbers weren't added up correctly, bingo, we've got an IRS audit that's going to come. So be very careful when you guys are dealing with your documents. Make sure that you're dealing with mathematics. Do it in a spreadsheet. Use something more than just a 10 key. When you're doing it. Omitting income. So you guys are pretty lucky, because in the real estate industry, most of the time you guys get what's called a 1099. But maybe you sold something, and even though it might not have been a tax thing, if it's not documented and you put an extra $5,000 in the bank, the IRS, when they audit you, are going to ask you, why did you do that? And what happened is, this is 2 years later. You're sitting there going, oh my gosh, what did I do to make this money? What did I put in there? eBay's a big thing. A lot of people love to do resale and buy things and sell them on eBay. Nowadays, there's 1099s coming from eBay right to the IRS. So if you've got a PayPal account, an eBay account, that is being reported directly to the Internal Revenue Service. Thank you, Obama and the healthcare bill. That's all I'm going to say on that one. Just look at that. She's like so perfect. I know. You really need to make sure we get pictures of these houses, because these guys are actually doing an awesome job in creating. Exactly. So we keep that going. All right, so everyone understands what the black plate represents, which is the IRS, basically the foundation. If you guys have all that in order, you got your QuickBooks, you've got your receipts, you're scanning, you're not going to be afraid of the IRS, because all that was documented. So if the IRS comes knocking and says, I want you to justify your entertainment, sure, here it is. This has been the Dr. Friday Show, and the one thing we want to point out, this table is all about don't mess with the IRS. And so here's what we're going to do. If you do mess with the IRS, you are going to, ow! There you go. Don't mess with the IRS, or they can take your number one asset.